Okay. All
Hey,
right.
hi.
Hello, how are you?
Awesome, awesome, awesome.
Good,
Welcome
good,
back.
good.
Welcome back, everyone, to Dating Differently.
Yes,
Today,
welcome.
hey. I mean, today's episode is called Is It Just a Bad Day? Or is this just who they are? We
Mm.
had a conversation about this earlier this week. You know, it happens in our coaching sessions, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're talking to someone new, you're in week one, week two, you're just getting to know them, and then something happens.
Mm-hmm.
All done it. Um, Something feels a little bit off. Maybe he snaps at a waiter. Maybe she overreacts with something or while in traffic. And we tell ourselves, maybe they're just having a bad day.
Mm-hmm.
And then you pause. But then you tell yourself what? They're having a bad day. But here's the real question. When someone is on their best behavior, because when we meet people, right, we're on our
Mm-hmm.
best behavior. We put our best foot forward in
Mm-hmm.
everything in the beginning.
You
If
should.
we all do, right? If this is what shows up front, what are we going to get on the back end?
Mm-hmm. I agree. I agree. Welcome, welcome. I see some people popping on. Let us know you're here. Say hi to us. And where are you watching from? Are you here in H-Town or where are you watching from? Say hello to us. Yeah, I listen, Demi. I have a strong opinion about it. What you see is what you get.
If it walks like a duck and quacks
It's
like a
quack
duck,
like a duck.
it's a duck.
It's duck. You know what and I've been very hands up. I've been very guilty of it. Wanting to see the best in a person. And for those who do not know who I am, I'm Dr. Conti, and I am your go-to person to help you understand healthy relationships and to be able to love from a healed and an intentional place and to spot those that are not healed and dating intentionally even when they're dressed up in a nice Versace suit or some red bottoms or what have you, because sometimes those things can cloud our judgment. And when they start saying are doing things. Hello, Tanya. Hello, Paula. When they do something like Demi just said,
Yeah,
that gives you one of these, like a little eyebrow raise.
I like it. I like it. Because what really happens when people get comfortable? We're going to talk about that today. So share what you're going to say. We're going to talk about things, you know, that I talk about as a certified relationship coach, what happens. Um, but we had a conversation this week.
Yes, we had a conversation because, as you all know, we are both doing the dating differently as well. That's what makes it so exciting. Y'all get to hear all the juicy stuff. And I was saying that to Demi that there was someone that I am gathering information on, and
Mhm.
we should put a test in the link. What does gathering information mean? That means you're dating, but you're just gathering information. And I noticed that the person kept doing something. Like the very first call, they did it like 5 times,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and I immediately called Demi afterwards, and it's like this person is already exhibiting something like 5 times in first conversation. And she was like, well, it's time for you to send that text.
Stop time to send text. Time to send
I
the
sent that text. And so we're going to talk about a lot of reasons why women don't, you feel like, and I said, well, maybe it was just a bad day,
Mm-hmm.
but
Mm-hmm.
we discussed it. And that's why you all should get an accountability partner. If you're dating, we encourage you to get accountability partner and share this information with each other.
Mm-hmm.
But we discussed it, and it's kind of like, hey, this is the first conversation. You're just getting to know somebody. If this is what you're seeing, ladies, like we just said, if it's quacks like a duck, it's a duck. It's a duck.
And I would say it's hard not just for it's hard for everyone, women and
Me,
men.
true.
especially
Yes.
when you see they have so many good, well, what looks like on the surface, good qualities.
Mm-hmm.
And you feel like, let me just kind of talk a little more to them, let me see a little more. And then you find yourself in week 2.
Yes.
And so one of the things, we talk about and we coach and talk about all the time is what's the investment? What's the emotional attachment that you have there? And sometimes it's just not anything too horrible, and they might just be a nice person. It's just not the connection that you were looking for.
Mm-hmm.
And we say, but they're so nice. And
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to just send a text, or I'm not comfortable, or maybe I just want to have a conversation with them. I feel like I need to give them closure. I feel like I need to talk about it with them to explain.
Well, I often say closure is a one-person activity. So you don't really need closure. And even if someone walks away from you or break up from you or ghost you, a lot of women feel like, men too, singles feel like, oh, what happened? I need closure. But you don't. What you need is to look at what happened and what can you draw from that? How can you be better? I always say, ask yourself 2 major questions, and that's what did I learn and how have I grown? Because
Yeah.
it will teach you what you want the next time or what you need to watch for the next time. And I just simply want to say one of the other things, Demi, that we hear all the time is that big old P word, because people will say, well, I didn't want to let it go yet because I saw some potential. I saw some potential. Potential is not a personality trait. It is a character flaw if they're not doing anything by now. I had a good conversation. Many of you know my driver, Ken, and we have a lot of great conversations. And so we had a conversation about that this morning. So and I always say potential mean ain't doing shit zoo now.
I'm laughing because, and you brought up ghosting, which is interesting. I
Yes.
I had a conversation earlier about that. And because maybe some of us have been ghosted in the past, we feel like we don't want to ghost
Mm-hmm.
someone else. And
Mm-hmm.
that's another reason you want to have a conversation. But I say to that, how much of yourself did you give away so early that when a stranger disappears, you feel actually cheated?
Yep.
It's
Yep.
week 1. It's
Yep.
week 2. What are
Yep.
you cheated from?
Yep.
And if it's more comfortable for you, I know I've had situations where, it's more comfortable for me to just kinda delete and block
Mm-hmm.
because I don't wanna have a conversation. I had to create these texts that I can share with those that I coach that
Mm-hmm.
make me feel better and maybe can make them feel better, but not having that conversation. Because
Yes.
truthfully, with ghosting, even though ghosting, and I had to look up the definition because I thought ghosting was a little bit different. So it really is just all of a sudden disappearing from someone.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
I pulled the information and I said, it seems like it's a shock. But if we really think about it, they probably started distancing themselves before then. The communication started to be different before they actually disappeared.
Well, hey, Paula, great, great, great comment. I'm going to read one of the comments. Paula says, potential is what you want, not who they are. Yes. Let me give you a yes, but let me get yes, yes.
Ah,
Even though it may have not have just been brewing or something that the communication went away. You could have just had a great conversation last night and thinking everything is going one way, and that person decides the next day, no, this is not. Because a lot of times we think differently, not we as in women, we as in individuals.
yeah,
Man may think this is going great, and the woman may think this is not. The woman may think this is going great. This is going to be a love. This is a love honeymoon thing. This is going to be a whole love story, and it's not. So
right.
if that person decides they're going to be true to themselves and probably the best thing for you and cut it off, again, like you just said, how much have you invested in that short of a time? it always goes back to when we say one time before we were talking on one of the podcasts, how a lot of times when you're ready, you go into a situation and you're dating and you're already imagining the way you want to go for the honeymoon and you don't even know their favorite color. So again, dating differently is not putting so much out there so soon.
Not all of the emotion. I know that it happened to me. I was like, we had a great conversation, made an appointment. I'm saying an appointment. You all know I say meet and greets. It wasn't a date. We were just meeting each other. Had a great dinner, left dinner thinking he walked me to my car and said, it was so good to meet you. Gave me a nice hug, good smile. I'll see you soon. Never heard from him again. Never got that text when we were supposed to meet again. Right. Never got an explanation. But I also didn't have my ego involved. Right. Because that's part of it. I also just said, you know what? We're all out here looking for that special person. And because we're dating intentionally, guess what? Hey,
that's right.
It's
that's
okay.
Right. They're dating intentionally too. And it's like I said, if it haven't happened to you, it probably will. So this is gonna be great information. It's happened to me. But what happened in my situation is I had already started those things that we're just talking about. Is it just a bad day? or is this who you are? I had already started pointing out some things that was going against standards and boundaries and what we had talked about. And I believe that person felt like, okay, let me just disappear first because she's not taking this stuff from me. And so sometimes I remember we always say standards is a filter. It filters people. So if you got standards and someone goes to leave or whatever, it may not be a bad thing. It's that they see you have standards and they need somebody that is going to fall for the okie doke. Welcome. Hey, Kevin, you say hello, ladies. Interesting. Great. Give us some male point of views on this. Hello, Lena. Hello. Hello, Tish.
I love that.
And Tanya.
And I hope to think that these perspectives are for women and men that are out there.
These are.
Because no one likes to feel rejected without cause. No one likes, it's a blow to our pride. We all want a reason. We want closure. I know, Dr. Conti, what do you say all the time? We want validation that it wasn't us, it was them. So instead of walking away when we see a red flag, a lot of times we just minimize it. They were tired. It was really heavy traffic. It was a long line or a long wait at the restaurant. She hadn't eaten since lunchtime. He's stressed. But early dating is, like we always say, gathering information. It's not an emotional investment. Not time has to come into place. So when you first meet someone and they're giving you their best foot, that's human nature, right? So
again, it should be.
We all want that, right? Even when we go out and we're meeting new friends, going on a changing careers, a job interview or whatever. So I want to ask you, Dr. Conti, if you see something that looks like, and it may sound extreme, but someone is really angry or rage shows up early, if emotional instability shows up early, if disrespect shows up early, which I know I've had that. If that's not their worst.
Oh my gosh. Yes. If it starts out like that, you're right. And if it starts out like that, and we're, as you just said, we're supposed to be, you usually meet the imposter first, that everybody got the good foot on. But if you're seeing this already and they're not comfortable, it doesn't get better. It gets worse. And we have to stop dating who we think somebody could be and start observing who they are consistently. And if you're seeing this behavior on a consistent basis, and one of the ways to definitely know something's a little off, we get those spidery senses. Like I say, you like the first thing, that was a little strong, or that was a little hard. The lady she didn't see you. She didn't mean to cut you off, and that person is going off and even explaining themselves. This is a sign that we can turn the corner and run.
And I
Gabrielle,
love how you
she says yes.
yes, but I love how you said it's an imposter, but I want to just say it's an edited version because we
Mm-hmm.
all
Mm-hmm.
I want to be my best when I meet people. I want to be my
Mm-hmm.
best when I come on camera tonight.
Mm-hmm.
It's an edited version. It's just, and I say this because, you know, when you're ready and you're ready to start doing something differently and date differently, as I coach, you still have to know it's an edited version. And we still like to talk about there's some good people out there. There's some people just like you and
A
me, and I'm talking
lot
about
of good
those
people.
of us that are
Yes.
online that are
Yes.
good people. And
Yes.
so you just have to know the watching isn't just for those bad or the red flags. It really is for everything to see who this person really, really is.
Yes. And
A
I
bad
have said it before. It could be for alignment. There's a lot of good people out there. I had someone say to me, they married a really good partner, uh, but they weren't aligned, and they married for the wrong reason. And later you realize, okay, well, I shouldn't have done that. So at this point,
Mhm.
especially with our second time arounders, our empty nesters, our widows and widowers, our people who are starting over again, we don't want to waste time or do it again. And it's not something that we've intentionally mean to do and have that's going to enjoy the rest of this second half with.
And I'm glad you said that because that's what dating differently is about. And that's what we're here about. We are here. And I just want to say it again because you said it out so eloquently, but this really is for the empty nesters
Mm-hmm.
who maybe waited to date. This really is for those who were married for a long time and now you're ready to do it, but just not sure how. This is for those that unfortunately you may have lost your spouse before you wanted to, but you're ready to go again and just meet someone to care and love with. This is who we're here for. So I love that. And a bad day really doesn't reveal the character. It's just the reaction reveals just who they are. I love
Mm-hmm.
it. I love it. I love it. I know I
All
see
right.
some people
I just figured out how to do something. I was playing around with it, how to put that comment up there. Tony says, if you see it's cracked from the beginning, save your glue because more than likely it's even more cracked than you can see. Yes.
so I
Yes. Yes.
want to bring this in, and she's exactly right. Let's talk about then when you have a person and setting the bar so low that small gestures feel like love.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Small gestures. Wow, they smiled at me. They
Mm-hmm.
text me good morning every morning. They remembered my favorite drink. He must be in love. I'm saying he because I'm a she. He must be in love with me.
Mm-hmm.
And suddenly it's, he's in love. He's in love with me. He must be the one, especially when you don't feel like you've had hundreds of options. We want that win. We want that proof that we are desired. We want that validation that someone wants us this time because it's
Mm-hmm.
different than it was the last time or than it has been. We've never had anyone open a car door for us or tell us we're really handsome every time they see us.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes without realizing it, we use that next person because we talked a little bit about egos to repair that ego, to repair our ego.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, this is I think, and this is what's so good about this is that many of us are starting over, but we're starting over with the old playbook. And we got
Yes.
to change the playbook, family. Men, women, we got to change the playbook because when we started dating back when we was dating and you met your love of your life or what have you, particularly those who, like I said, are of our our age, late 40s, 50s, and 60s, this dating is different. And so it's not the same. So we got to update the playbook because, and the playbook is, it doesn't matter how good it look. It doesn't matter how sweet it smells, how pretty it seems. Consistency reveals identity. Now that's a mic
It
drop.
really does. That one is. I love that. I love that because it's not dating. That's self-soothing. I just go back to what in some of the coaching techniques that I have is do not get emotionally vested in something that hasn't been defined. You don't know what it is. I've said this before.
Gabrielle says, or pay for expensive dinners. That's right. That's right. And some people have I keep going back to that movie, that series, Fake. He had a whole system, and that's what he did with everybody.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, years ago, God rest his soul, he's passed away, but I had a guy friend that had a lot of money, and he would date, and literally he bought every girl, a woman that he dated for a few weeks or whatever, a couple of months, he would buy them a Rolex. It meant nothing to him because he had that kind of money. But that woman felt like, oh, he bought me a Rolex. Like, I am the one. I'm about to be the next Mrs. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah. But that was just his MO. So fancy dinners, Gabrielle, could just be that person's MO because that's how they hook you. Especially even in the beginning, it could be a part of love bombing.
Or it could just be a part of what they do to get you to stay interested in them. And they could be a nice person. I always like to put that out there because it's not about the good, the bad. It's just about starting to date differently. It's not about them. It's about how we look at things. You are gathering information. You are observing. You are maintaining.
Yeah, you're right. That's a good point.
And I say that maintaining your individuality, because when someone walks away, when someone goes, when things that person doesn't end up being the person you think they are, or, I say my story, I don't know how many people hear it. I mean, I decided to date differently after going through training, after looking at things differently. And I went on 21 dates. And I'm saying dates, meet and greets, whatever you want to call it, before I got to a 22nd one that was worth me getting to know each day until today has come. And we're deeper into it. But it's still gathering information. It's still vetting. It's still making sure that you're aligned.
Paula says, so what about when you are the compromiser? And the one time you don't, they think that's who you are. Good question. Or they have an issue with people who don't. And so you try to prove to them that that's not you.
We've had this conversation,
yes,
right?
We've had that conversation. And it's not about them. It is who you we have to know what we are. And great question, but then that's their loss. If they're not doing this, giving you the same courtesy that you're giving them, and by giving you that opportunity, giving you the opportunity to show who you really are, to authentically observe who you really are, then they're not for you. Because the person who is for you, and you're not doing anything ugly or derogatory, they're going to want to continue to see. Just like if someone was, if I'm dating someone, Demi dating someone, anybody on here, if you're dating someone, gathering information, and the information you keep gathering is great, except they may not be doing one or two things that you are expecting, that's when you continue to vet and see and watch for that. And I'm sure once you got comfortable with that person, they're comfortable with you, the compromising, you would have given a little bit more. But if they don't give you that opportunity, scratch.
Like I say, but yeah, that part. I mean, we say it over and over again, right? But we always say this is not a system that you're in to get people to be interested in you.
Yes.
I'm not trying to convince
Yes,
anyone
you choose me. Yeah.
To choose me, to be interested in me.
Yeah. This process is you choosing if this is somebody that is aligned and worthy of you.
Yeah.
And vice versa.
Yes. I'm so sorry. Mr. Hightower saying 21 days.
Damn burger, 21 days. 21. Yes.
And number 22. Number 22 is the bomb or whatever.
Number 22 is the diggy, what they say, bomb diggity.
And a bag of chips. But guess what? I never lost my individuality. I still am able to have fun and do the things that I enjoy doing with my friends. And we are still really learning still about one another and taking it slow. And that's what's enjoyable. And yeah, it was really easy for me to walk away or, not make another phone call, not take the other phone call and keep it moving because I wasn't emotionally invested. Part of our emotional investment that comes into place oftentimes is because we introduce the physical part of the relationship too early. Too early.
Dr. Smith says, and I think this is to Paula's comment. He says, I like cooperation rather than compromise. Exactly. Because when you're compromising, you're giving up a part of you. You're giving up something, and we all have to come together and give of each other, of yourselves. But when you're compromising, usually that means you're losing out on receiving something as well as giving something. So cooperation. Okay. Good point.
Thank you. So I know we're coming towards the end, but
oh no, so cool, so soon. We got
questions. I know we have questions. We have a lot of DMs that come in. I think you had just a few of them.
Yes.
Some coaching moments or segments.
Yes. So let's see. Let me go to these questions. All right. Dr. Conti. Oh, well, should have went to yours first. Dr. Conti, my boyfriend is amazing 80% of the time. But when he's stressed, he shuts down, gets dismissive, and sometimes say hurtful things. Afterwards, he apologizes and says he's just overwhelmed. Is this just a bad day, or is this who he is under pressure? It sounds like this is just who he is under pressure. And a lot of the other things are workable. People sometimes don't realize. Sometimes you don't know what you don't know until you get with a partner and you realize where you need to grow. But the part where you say the hurtful things, that is truly should be a boundary cross for me. You should be able to, all of us should be at a point where we're able to have a disagreement without saying hurtful things or bringing a person down. So, and then apologizing with no actions and accountability means nothing. So if this has happened more than once and he's apologizing and there's no actions, you've said that, hey, we're not going to do that. We're not going to have these conversations. Then, and it continues. I mean, there's just not a lot of wiggle room for me for that. When you're talking, you're not going to say hurtful things or call me out of my name or what have you. And I just think that's a standard and a boundary thing. And it's a courtesy thing. Yeah. And I always tell this story. When you want to change and you want to grow, you do. Years ago, I was dating very first time coming out of my toxic, abusive, crazy marriage, and was dating someone healthy. Hey, my mom is watching. Your mother is watching with you. Hey, mommy. And the first person that I dated that was healthy, some of those old things had not all fallen off yet. And we got into a disagreement and I said some sharp things. And that person got up in my face, not like abusive, but, and I was like, okay, here we go. He very quietly, he says, Conti, I will never allow anyone to talk to you the way you just talked to me.
Yeah.
He said, Conti, I will never, ever talk to you the way you just talked to me. Yeah. And then he said, mic drop. If you talk to me ever again the way you just talked to me, we won't have this relationship. Yeah. And I loved it. I was okay with that because I was ready. I was ready for something good and something healthy. And guess what? That situation taught me how to have conversations without being ugly and derogatory. And we never had an argument. We had disagreements, and we were able to resolve them like healthy adults. And so I just don't believe in anybody saying anything to anybody that's hurtful.
Yeah. And I appreciate what you said. I'm gonna piggyback on that. Mm-hmm. We're gonna save my other question for next time. Or you can follow us on our Facebook page, which is Dating Differently, with Demi and Dr. Conti. And we have questions there daily that we can go back and forth on. But I want to piggyback on that because I'm not sure how long that relationship was. But you talked about standards. And I know you know this because I was on a date. And we're just going to call him Dusty, okay? And I remember, and I think I may have said this before, I remember the first time, and I say date, I say meet and greet, you know, we were getting to know each other. And I remember us going out to dinner. And I remember not finishing my food. And for most of you that know me, I'm just a small person. I'll never eat my whole meal. And I remember him saying, aren't you going to eat all of that? And I said, no, I'm going to, take it with me. Or maybe I left it because it wasn't worth it. And he said, if I pay for it, you have to eat it. Mm. And I kind of just thought, I said, well, I can pay for my meal, but he paid for it. He said, well, just know in the future, this is what happens. But then we're going to fast forward, and I gave him another chance. And I remember him saying, big head. Mm-mm. So I say all of this, that there are times, now obviously he wasn't 22, right? Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. But there are times that these little things come up and we know it. You talked about spidey senses. Mm-hmm, there are little things that they put out there in the beginning just to see, let's see how she's going to react. If she's going to be okay with this, then I can say something else different later. Mm-hmm.
Yes. That, the old saying, when someone shows you who they are, believe them the first time and not the 15th time.
Yeah.
Not the 15th time. So I was grateful to get that opportunity to show that, no, I'm ready for growth. Teach me, healthy king.
And I was grateful to know that I had healthy standards and boundaries.
Right. That's
and
right.
That I was okay with walking away and knowing that if I never met anyone, it was going to be okay because I live a great life. And if I did, that would be great. But the person that was going to be right for me
was going to accept the fact that you didn't eat. And that, to me, I think that you didn't eat all your food.
Or just be thoughtful of me and not speak to me in that way.
Yeah, I think that absolutely. I think it's kind of two different situations, but still, either way, I just don't believe in it. Robert says, Dr. Smith says, respect should not crumble under pressure. To that lady's comment, you're right. Respect should not crumble under pressure. Let me get a couple more here. We usually go about 40 minutes, so we got about 5 more minutes. Hold on, Demi. I cannot stand game playing. Ain't nobody got time for that. That's right. That's what we were saying. At this age, you don't have to have time. You don't have time for that. And you don't have time for people. You do. I was young. I was 30-some years old, 29, 30 years old. You don't have to, like I said, we're dating in a different age. And you can't date in this age with the old playbook. You don't have time to be training people how to treat you. The first time, it gives them, like she said, permission that it's okay. The second time, it gives them an excuse to continue to do it. And as the old saying say, fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. And then fool me 3 times, I'm just a darn fool. And I don't think at 40, 50, 60 years old, we should be fools. We should just be true to who we are, what we want. And when you see that it's quacking like a duck, walk away or use one of Demi's texts and say, after some long deliberation, I don't think we're aligned.
But that's what I was just going to say. You need to know where you stand so you can say, hey, this isn't alignment. Stop responding. You block if necessary. Protect your peace. I don't need to over explain anything when I'm like, you know what, this isn't working for me. I never over explain. You are not required to you are not required to do that. And I'm going to say it with a stranger because that's what they are.
That's who they are. Yes, that's who they are. You're absolutely right.
Yes. So if you want to hear more from us, tell us about our YouTube. We're on YouTube.
Yes, join us. First of all, every week, set your timers. Wasn't this good, y'all? This is some good stuff. This is some good stuff. So set your timers every Friday night. We are on CST time, 7 p.m. You want to make sure you join us. We are both have our Instagram pages, our Facebook pages, and we have our YouTube Dating Differently with Demi and Dr. Conti page, and we have a Facebook private group because we don't want the whole public getting all this. The public can come right here, but we want the people in the group that are really, really intentional about learning and healing and growing and excited about having a community that's going to encourage you throughout this dating process. All right, so that's how you can find us.
And I'm Demi. So join us next week. Well, where we continue to help you love intentionally.
Yes, heal completely
and date
differently. All right, we can't wait to see y'all next week. Keep tuning in, share this. And for those who watch later, click replay so we know you're watching. Talk to y'all soon.
Yeah, bye.